there's no rain. That would just be typical Cold Masters, it's just a fucking washout.
Right, I'll get these changes made. Checks complete. We're
I'm
ready.
just going out now and we're getting ready. You get like a little 33 out of the block.
Yo, JD here, Tyrolimus, and we are at the final round of ILR at Abu Dhabi. It's been a great season. Really enjoyed this league. And in this one here, I'm just looking to have fun because I actually quite enjoy this track. I did a little bit of esports practice on the PC before, but for the moment, didn't really get too much time to really prepare for this one. But I'm really hoping next season I really should have more time. And I think if I have more time, considering how much preparation I can do for these races at the moment and in my league races in general right now, the pace is actually extremely good and really promising. Just been trying to drive very aggressive, just a lot more committed and with a purpose really right now, and it's paying off. I've had quite a few good results again recently, and sometimes I've had penalties again because I just really need to just dial into the track a bit more, but if I can cut those out and just have more time, it's looking really good. I'm really liking this new driving style. As for this here, on the quali lap on the Hypersoft tyre, but we're actually catching up to Snazzy Eving, who's on a harder tyre right now, which, you know, if he's going to go for that real harder tyre, not to qualify on the Hypersoft, I would expect him to do it end of the session because we've still got 10 minutes left. And this is really compromising my qualifying run here because, as you can see, we're definitely getting held up here, just with a little bit of the dirty air and just a little bit of lag as well. No, I don't know how much time you'd say here, but my average sector is normally 3.5 attempts quicker than this. Coming across the line, we still do a 33.2, and you can see it's on the super soft tyre, so. Now, as I said, everyone has a right to complete a qualifying lap. I'm not really angry about that, but you know, if he's really going to do the superstar tyre, I thought you would have done the end of the session, so I don't really expect him to be out of the way, but nevertheless, that really did compromise you quite a bit. So this is my final attempt now. I know there's a lot of time to find that last sector because, as I said, it was a good 3 attempts slower than what I did in the practice before this, so we're on course for definitely a high 32 here. Currently green for this first sector here, so that's quite promising. The middle sector was very good on my last lap, so I know that's the sector I really need to try and match it at least. Coming off this corner onto the main straight now, getting a decent exit here, so looking quite promising right now, just about half a tenth up on this 33.2, so it should be hopefully well within the 32s. If we can do that, I'll be really chuffed with that. Braking kind of early, a little bit hesitant on the braking and not really too good, a little bit skew whiff coming up this corner here, and you can see lost a tenth and a bit coming out, about a tenth and a half if you take into account the delta before. Lost a lot of time through here now, so I really got to try and make it up through this next sequence of corners. I'm braking quite late here now, and again trying to go for here, which is fairly okay, so make up a little bit more time here. Second gear for here, missed the apex of this, running on the curb, so you can see now losing a lot of time once again, so not particularly smooth with that section of the track here. Braking into here now again, not too optimal, and I know it's really the last 2 corners of the game. A lot of times you can see 2 temps down at this point, going into the last 2 corners, penultimate corner here, doing it fairly nicely, gaining a little bit more time. And now look through this last corner, look how much time we gained. We gained so much time, we actually improved my time, 33.2, considering how bad that middle sector was.
I got absolutely landmines just sat on the chicane, not moving. Trying to retire his car, now plowing on fucking air. I'm gonna make highlights. I'm gonna fucking go in on these kids because they're just fucking knobheads. Honestly, I literally can't be arsed. Like, I literally lost an end plate. I hate him that hard. Got a red wing.
So you can see Martin not too happy there because someone actually retired and hit his car. But I wasn't really too happy either. I think we realistically we should have been starting 4th this race, but we're going to start 7th instead. So as the lights going out now, 4 lights, 5 lights, using lean mix to try and get a good start here. A little bit of an angle of the car. getting a semi-decent pickup, getting about the same as Morso, as Martin gets an incredible start. You can see down the inside here. So go around the outside. I'm also trying not to make too contact. Lost the position to my teammate, but we're going to hold it round the outside. I'm also getting the inside for the right-hander, and that is a crucial move, but he's actually still alongside me. Slots in behind, and luckily he decides not really to fight it too hard through here. So we've actually maintained our position for now, which is a good thing. And I did a little bit of practice before this. I did one session of practice before this with CRG Evo, who got pole and is in the lead, and CRG Simon Hill 1-2. As Martin having a lot of lag here. You can see, I was just telling Martin there that he's having so much lag, and that was very, very frustrating. Now we're going to go try on the inside because I really need to get past him as quick as I can, because what I was about to say is that the pace I had in practice, we were actually keeping up with Evo and Simon on par with their pace. So this is really frustrating. I know I have a chance of getting a podium right here. Martin's lagging again. Really, really bad. So we're going to try and go down the inside here because I just want to get past him as quick as possible. No team orders here because the championship, as I said, Philosophy Surprise won it a few races ago now. I can't really fight for any higher than I am currently in the championship point, but it's really about pride. I just want to end the season on a good note and really just take it, as I said, with a purpose into next season to end as I mean to go on for next season where I'll be challenging for wins and podiums. But we get a warning again. It just really need to get dialed in now. But this track is actually quite easy to get a warning around here, so I knew people were probably going to get penalty ahead of me, but the cars are quite bunched up right now from 2nd down to 7th here. I really want to get a move on and just try and get past Martin as quick as possible, because this lag probably could damage my car, and I just know I have a lot of pace as well. So we'll go move on to the next lap now. We've actually caught up behind Leopard, who seems to be struggling quite a bit on his tyres, even though the patch made tyre temps a lot easier. He definitely seems to struggle a little bit, kind of similar to Joe in the sense he's got amazing pace. It only seems around particular tracks really, maybe on the hypersoft tracks he seems to struggle a little bit, which I've noticed. But Martin's making a nice little move in him here. Got a nice buffer behind, so we managed to pull away, so no pressure from behind. They're going side by side, but he's pushing him out wide a little bit, which is going to compromise Leopard's line. Coming off this corner, we get some good traction here. Under fueling the car, but the fuel's not really stressed that much around here. It's actually quite good to run in lean through the corners, because not only does it save tyre temps, it gives you better traction and better tyre life as well. So you can see running in lean, well, you'll be able to see in a second here, running in lean and literally no ERS, lean through here as you can see now. And now we're behind my teammate. A little bit of a gap for me behind, or ahead of him now, so really want to get a move on, as I said. Trying to get a nice exit off here, which we do using the 80 diff for the race itself. And now we're going to put in absolute max settings here. And yeah, Martin's just saying that his lag is just, his lag is just really bad at this point. Thinking about move down the inside here, but we're not quite close enough on this occasion. Almost kissing the back, almost rear end there, which is something you don't want to say, but very close in here. And we've got a very good exit once again on the second DRS zone, but the lag, I don't really know where he is, so we're going to go down the inside here, because again, just quite desperate at this point, because I just need to get past them, because I just don't want to lose any more time. And I was being quite frustrated. We're in the same pie, and I never told him to move over or anything at all, but I think I made it quite obvious that I was getting very frustrated. You can see here having to braking so early, and I just felt I had the pace to just fight for the podium and at the top here of this race, and I just don't want to go back into the clutches of Leopard and the guys behind who are starting to catch up a bit more as well. So I really need to get this move done as quick as possible on my teammate, but we're quite close. Coming across the line here is probably the closest I've been coming off here, so we really need to get a good first sector and a good launch off that hairpin down the back straight here. So we're going to put in rich and high as well. Don't really usually use hot lap or anything through here because you don't really gain that much speed, and the ERS is quite thirsty around here. So go but put it back down to none, leave it enriched for the fuel, because we just want to really just attack him as soon as possible here. Taking a nice wide line, but then a super tight one earlier on the throttle. You can see this is probably the closest that we've been coming off this hairpin, and now I was pretty confident that there should be a good move. If I can't get the move done here, I'm going to really try and compromise him into this corner. So we'll go alongside here, and it's a pretty simple move. I don't think he's really fighting it too hard here. Going across this, which you can, gives you quite a nice exit. And we've got no DRS. He's actually got DRS, but we didn't say anything in the party at this point. As you can see, there's nothing being said. I think he just knew that I really wanted to get on with it, and he's decided just to let me go. We've got a 3.6 second gap to Veloce Surprise ahead of me now. So we'll go try to take a move on here. Lap 8 now, we're only 2.1 behind this group ahead, so we've actually started to close in pretty nicely, and just really confirming my frustration I had earlier. Other than Evo, who I think is just in a league of his own here, I think we were the second quickest car on track at this point. So we started to catch Veloce Surprise, OMG it's Joe. Simon's actually pitted early as well, which was very, very early, along with Leopard. I think Leopard's gone for an actual 2-stop strategy, so he's actually on the ultra soft tyre, I believe now. But coming over through here now, I think Martin...
And we'll just 2 more laps, I'm 10. The tyres are fine.
Yeah, we've decided to go another extra lap. We see Evo, Surprise and Joe pitted. But I've actually gone for another lap here because I know the Supers would be good at the end of the race. So yeah, my tyres felt pretty good. So we're going to go into the pits here. Martin's going to continue for another lap here. So I should get quite a good undercut on him. As I said, I only really did 2 laps on the super soft, but I knew from lap 8 onwards I could get to the end. But I really just wanted some fresher tyres because I knew my setup was really built for stability. So at the end of the race, it should be very, very quick. As you can see, Evo's already gone through along the Surprise, and Simon and Joe and Leopard, you can see on the ultra soft tyre there. So he's going to go for, he must be going for a 2-stop strategy. Morso's come through now on the super softs as well, but we've actually come out ahead of him. So we've actually probably got a little bit of an overcut in him. So really, if we're just doing the same pace as we did in the first stint, he really shouldn't be a factor for this rest of this race now. We've got a 4.5 second gap to Leopard and that little battle for the really second place ahead of us now. So if I can just start to close on that, then that would be really, really good. We're skipping on to lap 11 now, and I can confirm we have actually started to close in ever so slightly on this gap, as they're starting to battle quite a bit, as Joe and Simon are actually going side by side at this point. And you can see in the mini-map here, a Ferrari has actually gone straight on. There was actually contact between Joe and Simon, quite violent contact. If you want to check their Twitter, it was quite outrageous, really, to be honest. But you can see the gap now is 3.4 seconds to LCR Leopard, so confirming that we do have the pace, and he's on the ultra softs as well. So the ultra softs are not really lasting as well as you hope, and these super softs are actually a pretty good tyre here. You can see another 2 tenths for this first sector as well, so really getting into a good groove and rhythm at this point in the race. Joe's behind me now because I think he probably has wing damage. I think he does have wing damage, or if he doesn't have wing damage, his tyres are going to be absolutely fried from just spinning a 360 here. So this is actually my fastest lap of the race, which I always do show in every single one of my setup videos. So this is my fastest lap of the race, and yeah, I just felt I was just driving really consistent, not completely flat out I'd say, but just driving consistent, and considering the prep time I had, I was very, very happy at this pace and just aiming to be consistent as possible. But we actually do have a couple of penalties in this race. We actually do, I think, have about 6 seconds of penalties at this point in the race. We can see another 3 temps and LCR Leopard here, despite him having DRS, I think, on Simon ahead. So we're actually closing in on the Force India on the Ultra Soft and Simon, and a little bit of surprise as well. I looked at my race time after this and the lap times. We were closing on these guys about 2 or 3 temps a lap, so having the fresher tyres is really paying dividends at the moment. And towards the end of the race, we've still got 15 laps of this race to go. I was really confident that if I could get a P2, I'd be absolutely buzzing with that, and that'd be a great end to this season, because I really think I should have started 4th this race. Having that qualifying, I wouldn't say blocks because you didn't really need to move out of the way, but definitely compromised at least. We're going to move on here, and Simon is in the wall, and Simon is actually retired. I don't know what has happened to him. I have no idea what actually happened to him after the race. So he's out of this race, so that means we really are in a position for P3 at this point, because we've got LCR Leopard ahead of me. He has to do another stop again, and then we've got Veloce Surprise in second and Evo in first. This is really a fight for the podium now, and LCR Leopard, he's got to be pitting very soon, which I presume for another set of Ultra Softs, maybe Hypers if he's got another set of Hypers. But now we're behind Sassy Even, who hasn't pitted yet on the super soft tyres, so he's going very long into this race. But we don't really want to do anything too crazy because, as I said, the pace has been excellent in this race, and more so behind. We actually left Morpho by quite a big gap. We'll be able to see the gap in it when he passes through. 9.6 seconds, you can see we've got plenty of pace in the tank, and there's no real need to do anything risky because Leopard has got to pit again, and he needs to get within really 9 seconds of me if he didn't have any penalties, or 6 seconds of me if he didn't have any penalties. So I'm just taking this nice and easy. Snazzy is not really fighting this too hard because I think he knows he's on a completely different strategy to me and Leopard, really. Well, him and Leopard could be fighting, but he's on a completely different strategy, so he lets it go. Leopard's actually pitting at the end of that lap now, so end of lap 16, and he's got to catch me really about 15 or so seconds in about 10 laps, which I think is going to be quite a tall order for him. So at this point, we're looking pretty good for a P3 in this race. And now coming round the penultimate last corner for last lap, you can see Leopard did start to catch up on these ultra soft tyres, but we're going to come across the line, and we did have 9 seconds worth of penalties, but I can confirm Surprise had 12 seconds and Leopard also had 9, which means we come P3 in our very last race of the season. And honestly, I've been really happy about just taking a new attitude with my driving, just being a lot more aggressive with my steering input, with my overtakes and everything. I think that's a sign of good things to come. And as I said, I'm really hoping I get more prep time for next season, because I think if I have that, which I should be in a position to, then I can really fight, hopefully, for wins and the title, which is what I want. We did come 4th overall this season, had the 2nd most podiums in the league just after Veloce Surprise, so I'm really happy with that. Thank you for watching this series, and I will catch you next time. Peace.